Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I am so happy. Guess what, guys? There's no Nintendo Switch Pro coming. Nintendo is not making Nintendo Switch Pro with the 4K resolution thing, and I'm genuinely happy. Let me tell you why. If we are just meeting, I am Mike Perez, and here at Nintendo Academy, we cover everything Nintendo, from games, news, reviews, unboxings, and a lot more related to Nintendo. So if you love Nintendo, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss another Nintendo Academy video. There is a Nintendo Switch OLED giveaway going on right now. So yeah, if you want to enter that, you can go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And then, yeah, I will also link in the description some channels from some friends who are also giving away Nintendo Switch OLEDs, you know, to help you out, right? Because that's what it's all about. We are all in this together. Okay, so yeah, you guys are confused of why I said that I was so happy that Nintendo is not releasing a Nintendo Switch OLED, not OLED, Pro with the 4K resolution thingy, you know, and all that stuff and all that jibber jabber internal stuff. But I'm happy. You know why, guys? Because it confirms what I think is happening in the world of Nintendo, and it is very exciting. Let me explain. So first, let's go ahead and get into this news that was just released about Nintendo. Nintendo just they had to speak out. They just, you know what? They got tired of us predicting a Switch Pro and giving you guys false hope about a Switch Pro coming along. So Nintendo had to say, you know what? I gotta put a stop to this. No Switch Pro. Relax, chill. Just go watch a movie, go watch some Netflix, or do whatever you gotta do. But just stop talking about the Switch Pro and let's read this. This is brought to you by The Verge. Okay, so Nintendo categorically denies that a Switch Pro or Switch 4K is in development. The entire report is false, claims Nintendo. So let's go ahead and read. So this is what The Verge says. It is rare for a big company to come out categorically deny an entire report. But that's what Nintendo just did today. The Japanese corporate entity has issued a press release insisting that Bloomberg's seeming revelation that Nintendo was pushing developers to build 4K resolution games for an upcoming but potentially canceled Switch Pro handheld was entirely incorrect. So Nintendo writes the report.
Falsely claims that Nintendo is supplying tools to drive games development for a Nintendo Switch with 4K support.
And insists that it is
not true.
Separately, it says that it has no plans, and I repeat, no plans of any new Nintendo Switch other than the slightly refined OLED model that'll be out next week. So it says no plans, then the slightly refined OLED model. So before you throw things at me, let me tell you why this is good news. Good news. This is such good news. Music to my ears. Nintendo, you are doing the right thing. You just you're in charge. You know what you're doing. You will pay my bills in the future, and we trust you. So Nintendo just confirmed that they are working on a next gen console, but it's not the Nintendo Switch Pro, and it will not be called Nintendo Switch because the Nintendo Switch OLED is the very last Nintendo Switch console with the Switch brand attached to it. Yes, guys, let's not forget the Nintendo Switch was a response to the Nintendo Wii U not doing so well. So Nintendo Switch came out and saved the day. They gave us this beautifully, nicely crafted controller that you can remove and put back and do so much with. They gave us so many ways to play in handheld mode on the dock, and it was a success. Everybody loved it. It's still the best console, and it's still the most selling console right now today. Now, what's going to happen? Why is this so great news that Nintendo will not give us the ability to play 4K games on this Switch? Well, it's because, yes, Nintendo is working on the next generation of consoles. So it's been 5 years since Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch, and it's gearing up to release the next console. And let me tell you something even crazier, okay? This will blow your mind. There is a possibility that the Breath of the Wild 2 game will be a next-gen game. And there is another possibility that Splatoon 3 is also a next-gen game. That's why they're pushed back towards the end of 2022. They're not coming in the spring. They were very easy. They were very quick to say about the new Kirby and the Forgotten Land game for the spring of 2022. But 2022 also has Splatoon 3, Breath of the Wild, Pokemon Arceus, right? Is there a release date for that? I don't remember. But still, next year, we might see a glimpse of Nintendo's next-gen console. Yes, and this one will be able to play games in 4K resolution.
But Mike, why would Nintendo do that after just releasing a Nintendo Switch OLED, and why?
And I have an answer for that. Maybe it's because Nintendo plans to keep the Nintendo Switch at least a year or two in production, and they will keep the Nintendo Switch Lite. They will keep the Nintendo Switch OLED and get away with the Nintendo Switch, the regular edition. So the Nintendo Switch will go down in price once the next gen console comes up, and then Nintendo will keep the Nintendo Switch for at least a year or two after the next gen console has been announced. Is this crazy? Yeah. Am I speculating? Of course. Could I be right? Sure. If anything could happen. And Nintendo just came out to say that no, we're not making a Switch Pro. It's because they're not making a Switch at all. It's going to be a next Nintendo console. Now, this has a whole bunch of questions attached to it, right? What will this next Nintendo console be called? Will it have the ability to play in handheld mode and also docked? And what will it be called? That's a question I already answered or asked. But yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments. What do you think about this speculation? I have my imaginary tinfoil hat on right now, and I just want to see what you guys think. Next Nintendo Switch console next year? I mean, if Nintendo wants to keep up with the rest of the pack, they don't have to keep up. Actually, they're ahead. But if Nintendo wants to catch up when it comes to resolution and these developers who want to make higher graphical games, there could be a possibility that we might see in 2022 a next-gen Nintendo console, either released or announced. That is it, and this is my video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I am Mike Perez with Nintendo Academy.